Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. You know, Wednesdays are like my happiest day ever. And on Wednesdays, for those of you joining us, we come together as a family to talk about your most important asset. Believe me, that's your health. So we come to talk about how the body heals, good things. I want to ask, don't miss a class. Don't miss. Listen to all the videos. Keep coming back. Don't miss a class. And I want to immediately introduce my topic. Today's topic is about sudden death. Like people just die. So I have a short story to share before I jumpstart. But before then, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Susanna Adams, and I am the MD CEO of Dr. Physique Global Health and Wellness Center. And in Dr. Physique, what we do is we actually practice lifestyle medicine, and we also practice medically guided natural medicine. So it means if a doctor gives you water to drink, it's actually a prescription and it will be monitored medically and we track the outcomes, etc. So that's Dr. Physique for you. So with that background, I want to reintroduce my topic, which is all about sudden death. Like I said, I have a short story that I want to share with you. The story, it's very emotional story, and I'll just share the story. So here's the short version of it. Just 2 days ago or so, 2 days ago, a friend, a family friend, had a party. You know, one of those really nice birthday parties slash Thanksgiving. She was so happy. She's a good person. And you know, when it's about a good person, everybody will come out, and people that didn't even have to come out, they formed a WhatsApp group platform. They're sending congratulatory messages. They're saying all kinds of good things. So remember, this party was just 2 days ago. So it means we are still celebrating. How does it happen that this morning, rather than the platform still having that happiness and everything, is a sudden announcement of the husband's death? How is that possible? Someone who was in the party, the life of the party, the support, the backbone, the everything. Well, for me, I may be saying with a straight face now because I've gotten over the shock, but I just thought, so on that platform, so many people are talking, so many things, and these questions keep coming up. How does someone just suddenly die? This is a young person. This is at most 40. How do they just suddenly die? Whether old or young, people just suddenly die. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me change my original topic and address what is pressing and hot. What is in the mind of not just the people on this platform that are suffering and grieving. It's like you have a smile on this side of your face, and then you have tears dropping on this side of your face. I'm sure that will make for a very nice artistic picture. It's really a sad situation. So how does that really happen? I'm sorry, I need to join a second story. It's not quite 6 months ago. There was a man standing up on the stage, and he just celebrated the wife. So he celebrated the wife, and he bought a new car for the wife. I mean, which woman will not be happy if the husband says, "You've been so good to me. Here is a car. You supported me." So they were dancing. Everybody's happy. He's standing there, and he says to the wife or somebody, "Please, I need water." I guess the wife could read the body language better than anybody else. They quickly grabbed water for him. Before he could even drink the water, he just went like this, and that was it. By the time he got to the hospital, is what? Death on arrival. We also remember the pastor, the famous pastor who preached, and after preaching, he sat down and he actually just went like this and he was gone. I happen to know that pastor personally. It was very a hot topic here in Nigeria. So the question keeps going, why do people just die like that? These are young people. What's going on? So I set out to not do a lengthy presentation, but just to list and just let you know that these things can actually happen. Apart from, on the platform, they're talking about the spiritual angle. Somebody's not happy that she celebrated. I said, many, many talks is from the village. We all come from villages, right? So, so I want to just share with you, just calm your mind down. And at the end of my presentation, what's my take home? My take home is that please do something about what I am going to talk about. Please do something about it. So this will not be your story or the story of anybody that you know. Two, you just don't have a choice but to share this message. Like this one, I'm not even asking. I don't know if I should plead or get up and kneel down. You just have to share so that we can all stand up and team up and fight sudden death, because it's so devastating. At least it's better that somebody, well, it's not better, but let it be that someone was in the hospital, bedridden, you're planning it. But this, you have a party 2 days ago, and then 2 days ago, we are talking about mortuary. It doesn't work. So I'm going to just jump into my presentation and list about 10 reasons, 10 things that happen in the body that can cause this sudden death. 10 things, okay? All right. So, so these are the top 10 things. I jotted them down. So I'm going to list these top 10 things. Now, just before I list them, I want to empathize with everybody globally. Have you noticed there are so many conflicting wellness information? So this question is, I'm going to do a lecture on how to know who to listen to and how to pick. Because there's some people say drink water, don't drink water, sleep like this, don't sleep like this. 10 steps, do 10,000 steps. Some people say no, it is for so many conflicting stories. But I'll tell you something straight up, which is this. Show me somebody who deliberately set up a clinic to monitor the use of nature and lifestyle modification, tracking the outcome amongst your population, not Oyibo population, and then sharing that information. That is the person that you need to. And I'm sorry, that is Dr. Physique, because from day one, we set out to monitor, track, evaluate the use of lifestyle modification to treat ailments and actually live longer and heal ourselves. So I needed to get that out because there's so many conflicting information. So please watch out for that lecture. Watch out for the lecture that explains who you should listen to. What I just said doesn't mean you should listen to only Dr. Susan, but I'll pinpoint, look at the person's credibility, a couple of things, because everybody is just coming out to talk and they're confusing the hell out of the audience. So I empathize with you. Sorry. That's because yesterday someone called me that 4,000 steps is the new in and it's not 10,000 steps. There's a lot of things. So we'll cover how that happens. So straight to the 10 top asymptomatic conditions that we have. So I'm not sitting on this table today as a cardiologist, or even I'm just sitting here as your friend, your wellness coach, a medical professional. You do know my background. I have a master's in preventive and promotional medicine. Okay, I also have a master's in health management, as well as, of course, even before all of this, I actually studied pharmacy. I have a doctor of pharmacy degree, and many other certifications, but for the purpose of my preventive and wellness lifestyle medicine class, I'm only just using my background, which is the lifestyle medicine I did in Harvard, the master's in preventive and promotional medicine, as well as my master's in health management. So that's the background. So I'm coming from a very strong research place when I preach this preventive and promotional approach to not dying and leaving me alone on earth, and to staying well, healthier, younger, and more vibrant. So here are the top 10 things. Number one, see, what I have written here is not cardiac arrest. It says sudden cardiac arrest. So you have to pick the word sudden. So cardiac arrest can come it says sudden. So it means it just suddenly shows up. Okay. So it's a sudden electrical failure of the heart. So just like electricity powers a building and you see the light, your heart has electrical conduction. And you know what? Even in your heart, NEPA can take light, Abby. So, or the current can go up, the current can go down. Just like you're sitting here, you did not offend AEDCRB in Con Edison or whoever is providing. Con Edison is in the US, sorry. The light providers. You just see current up, down. It destroys your TV and everything. Sometimes that can happen in the body, and guess what is caused? Sudden death. And you're like, why did the person die? The person was in the party. So that can happen. Another one that also happen is called aortic aneurysm. So what is that one? So it's a silent enlargement, okay, of the aorta, okay, that can eventually rupture. And if it ruptures, what happens? There's going to be massive internal bleeding, and it messes up a lot of things, and most people can die instantly. The funny thing is that it just happens. So as it's starting to grow, you won't know. You only know when it ruptures and you die. So these things happen. So I want you to know the body, you know, they say we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Just like a car can suddenly develop a fault because of usage, the body can also develop a sudden fault because of usage, okay? And that's why in Dr. Physique, we preach what? Maintenance. Another one is called pulmonary embolism. You know, I don't really do big names, big words for this class, but I just have a need to let you know that whether you remember the name or not, I'm just going to be calling names and explaining so that you know that some of these things are, oh my God, what could I have done? I want to tell you that most of what I'm listing, there's very little you could have done to prevent that death, okay? And that's why people keep dying. But thank God for what we teach in, in the Dr. Physique wellness space. I will teach you some of the things that you can proactively do to never even get into this situation. Because what I'm just saying is that once you're in this situation, it's usually a little late. Okay, so that pulmonary embolism, it's a clot that travels to the lung. So someone is like, and it causes sudden death. Where did the clot come from? In New York, I grew up in New York, they found out like many people that had pulmonary embolism, they were mostly taxi drivers that came in, because in New York, there's a lot of taxi drivers. And why? They found out that when the taxi driver, when they're waiting a long line to pick up the passengers, they're just always sitting. So because of not moving around or something, they form clot, maybe around their leg area. Clots can come from anywhere. Clots can come from, if you have, that's why they say don't have high cholesterol. If you have a high cholesterol, the white blood cells come to eat up the cholesterol as a foreign substance, end up forming a clot, and that clot can also unplug and go to the lung. So once it gets to the lung, they call it pulmonary embolism. So embolism, it means it moves to the lung and it causes sudden death. Number 4, there's also something called brain aneurysm rupture, brain aneurysm rupture. So this one often unnoticed until it has busted. Okay, tell me the truth right now. When was the last time you got a brain scan? Nobody gets a brain scan. So it ruptures, it bursts, and oh my goodness, the point we are making is that some of this, which is part of my solution, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm speaking not just to the people on the platform because I invited them to this program. I'm also talking to you to let you know that these things can happen, and we are going to not allow it to happen to anybody listening on this platform. And you're going to share, like, subscribe so that you can get more of such messages. Okay. Another one that I don't like too much is pancreatic cancer. So what's the problem with pancreatic cancer? Oh, Dr. Susan, you'll be talking about heart-related issues and mentioning big names and stuff. No. Pancreatic cancer is a silent killer because at early stages, there are no warning signs. So somehow, pancreatic cancer is one of those cancers that until it's too late, it is asymptomatic. So it stays very quiet and slowly, and then even if you're scanning for anything, I mean, of course, if you do like a typical abdominal pelvic scan, which we mandate people to do, and they always refuse, yeah, you can scan the pancreas and see, but sometimes the pancreatic cancer could have already started. And then you now tell the patient, go and do abdominal pelvic MRI. Why would anybody do MRI when you don't feel that nothing is wrong with you, right? So that being said, pancreatic cancer is silent in early stages and often discovered only when advanced, and then when it's advanced, is already aggressive. So what does it cause? Death. In fact, pancreatic cancer is one of the cancers that I don't know a survivor. I have an iPhone by God's grace because I grew up on iPhones. So I just stayed with iPhones. In the US, everybody's iPhone. So iPhone is like a big thing in Nigeria, but in the US, it's the phone of the country. Now, this iPhone, Steve Jobs is the name behind iPhone. I mean, if Steve Jobs did not have the science, the money, the time, the every single thing, I don't know who else will, but that's, of course, in Dr. Physics, we also believe the God factor. If God doesn't say yes, nobody can say yes. So that being said, this pancreatic cancer killed Steve Jobs. One of our staff, the mother came pancreatic cancer. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, someone called me and said, oh, someone I know has pancreatic cancer. And I said, I wish it was another cancer. The very next phone call is that the person is gone. So if you can, don't have pancreatic cancer. And I'll tell you some of the things we can do proactively to not have this. There's another one. There's another one. Yes, I'm going to mention 10. This is the 6th one. Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this, Dr. Susan? This is not about water as medicine, food as medicine, this and that. In the long run, it will be. But I'm doing this to let you know that everything I have listed so far, you almost don't have control over. They just come. Okay, look at this one. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. It sounds long, but cardio is heart. Myopathy means like the disease of the heart area. So pathy in general means disease. So myo, like the cells of the heart. So, like I said, it's not about big language and breaking things down, but just know that the simple definition for hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is this: is a thickened heart muscle, okay, that can trigger sudden fatal arrhythmias, especially in young people. So, a thickened heart muscle that can trigger sudden fatal arrhythmias, especially in young people. What's the meaning of that? That means you see your footballers, you know that, oh, the football, and then I think there was a footballer that just crashed and died. Apart from the footballer, this thing happen. It's just that everybody is unique. Just like someone has a mole on the forehead and another person has on the neck, somebody can have a thickened heart muscle. I mean, things can hasten it and contribute, but in general, how would you even know, especially a young person, that you have thickened heart muscle that can eventually trigger arrhythmias? What is arrhythmias? It just, as it says, arrhythmia. So rhythm is correct. A rhythm, it means wrong rhythm. So that's as far as I want to go. So, and then the person dies suddenly. All right. So we have three more. There's something called long QT syndrome. So this one is an abnormal heart rhythm condition that may cause sudden fainting. So the person will just faint, or death without prior symptom. So, I'm sorry, these are very big, deep topics that each topic, if explained properly, is a month-long lecture. So I'm just doing a very surfacey stuff. My objective was just to list that there are 10 things that is not in the corridor of anybody's house or kitchen or anything that can just show up and kill somebody. So that long QT syndrome, when you go for your routine check, they'll say, do ECG, do echo. So these are some of the things that can proactively determine if you have a long QT syndrome. So that's that. The number 8, deep vein thrombosis. I'm sure we've heard of DVTs. Okay, so can be silent until a clot dislodges and becomes a pulmonary embolism. So we've already talked about pulmonary embolism, but DVTs, deep vein thrombosis, can also lead to pulmonary embolism. The 9th one, this one, listen to the name of this one. Are you ready? Silent myocardial ischemia. Why does it have silent in front? It means that it's supposed to silently kill somebody. So please, my brothers and sisters, my family on the platform, take heart. I always compare the body to a car. It can develop anything. Like I just showed you one. NEPA can take light. One, there can be a bulging and then a pipe will burst. Two, a lot of things can happen in the body that is beyond your control immediately. But proactively, you could actually do something about it. So that silent myocardial ischemia, what is the meaning? It means reduced blood flow to the heart without typical chest pain. So no chest pain, no. You're sitting there. Blood flow has reduced to the heart. Who did you offend? Nobody. It's just how the body works. Sometimes leading to a direct heart attack. So what's that one? Silent myocardial ischemia. Ischemia just means less blood. Okay. Now, your blood flow reduces to the heart. What does that mean? No oxygen come to the, you die. And you're like, "Ah, what happened? I saw the person in the party yesterday. He was in church yesterday. He's a young person. Oh, wicked world. How could they do this to him?" Please, I'm not in any way saying there are no principalities and powers in high places, even I think sometimes low places in all places, right? They are there. Oh. However, let's not even give them too much credit, because if we do, then we will not do what we would have proactively done to conquer these principalities and powers in in all their places, especially in high places. Okay, all right. So the 10th and the last one, there are lots more. Today I just said, let me just let my people know that, the people I invited and all of us here know that there are just some things that, okay. So this one is called intracerebral. We already know that one is around the brain, right? Hemorrhage. Okay. Hemorrhage, you know what that means, like bleeding, right? So intracerebral hemorrhage. That one is bleeding inside the brain that may occur suddenly, especially with uncontrolled high blood pressure. You see them, they say, oh, BP, BP, BP. Why are we scared of BP? This is one of the biggest reasons. Because guess what? Blood can burst in the brain and you start bleeding, and trust me, you don't want to watch the opening of the brain, try to mop up the blood and it's not, they will touch something and from there, maybe your face will remain like this or whatever. It can go bad. It can go bad. So we don't even want to go there. So what does that mean? If you're someone who has high blood pressure and you've been playing with your high blood pressure, when your own comes, don't say that you did not hear from Dr. Susan. I want to beg you, find a way. Don't ignore that high blood pressure. I've seen someone whose blood pressure was so high, their eyes were red. And we checked the BP. I think that it was 280 over 160 something. And the person came from office. Oh, I'm not just getting myself. How would you get yourself with this type of BP? So, first of all, thank you so much for bearing with me. And I just had to go there. There are other reasons why people die, pre-existing conditions, many other reasons. However, this sudden one, like, for a fact what I'm talking about. You know for a fact that this person was perfectly healthy. How can this person just die? These are some of the things that address why the person suddenly died. So to summarize and conclude, really, I'm just going to elaborate on just a couple so that we can really drive the point home. And then as soon as I elaborate on a couple, like very briefly, like 2 minutes at most, then I'll now tell you what I need to tell you. Okay. So for the aortic aneurysm, I told you there's a bulge in the wall of the aorta that can grow silently for years. Did you hear that? It grows silently for years. It grows silently for years. Number one, usually has no symptom until it ruptures. So what could you have done if there's no symptoms until it ruptures? No symptoms. Two, rupture causes massive internal bleeding and can be fatal within minutes. So once it bursts, just say that death is here. All right? And then often detected incidentally on scans. If you go for a scan, usually high-risk patient will go. But if you're not high risk, how would you know? Done. Second one I want to elaborate on is that pulmonary embolism. We are always sitting down. Be shaking your legs, stand up, walk. I'm laughing because I suspect someone has stood up to walk as I'm laughing. Because stand up and walk. Just stretch your leg, do something. Because you're creating this thing. Just even if it's for 60 seconds, stand up, walk, shake your leg, and sit down. This lecture should scare you to do something. So it should not scare you. I don't do scare tactics, but it should move you. That's a better word to use. So this pulmonary embolism, number one, a clot travels to the lung. Two, can sometimes occur with minimal symptom. You may not even feel it. Three, a large clot can cause sudden collapse. The person will just faint and then die. And then, of course, I've already mentioned the risk factor include not moving, sometimes if you had a surgery, or clotting disorder. So that's why if you do your blood work, we can check your platelets and INRs. There are many clotting factors that we can check on the labs and scans to proactively protect you. Three, sudden cardiac arrest, which I mentioned, is an electrical malfunction of the heart. I'm sorry, it happens so often. And then sometimes when they go to the hospital, it's too late. They won't even see what is wrong because the person has already died. So often strike without prior warning, especially in people with undiagnosed heart disease. This is why I said I will elaborate on just 5. I have 2 more. So there are many people that I know in my life, they say, oh, my BP is not that high. It's just 120 something over 80 something or 90. It's not that high. And because of that, you leave it. What does it say? It says often strike without warning, especially in people with undiagnosed heart disease. So at this level, you don't even think to go and check. So this thing would have happened for a very long time. And you're there until until I say NEPA take light. Causes immediate loss of consciousness. The person will just faint. Survival depends on rapid CPR and defibrillation. So, of course, defibrillation, nobody has it at home. You need to go to emergency or maybe the ambulances. They'll do that. CPR, people can learn and try to do that. The fourth one is the pancreatic cancer because there's no symptoms on early stage and at advanced stage is already deadly and the mortality is very, very high. And the last one is that brain aneurysm rupture that I mentioned. So all these things are happening. And then when they get to the hospital, I'll tell you what happens. So for this one, a weakened blood vessel in the brain that bursts. So is it your fault that one of the blood vessels is weak? How would you even know? How did you open your brain and be checking the pipes? This one is strong pipe, this one is a weak pipe. No, you won't know now. So sometimes there's also a need for a bit of forgiveness that the body does what the body does. It's unfortunate, but this truth is hard even for me because I know what I went through when I heard of the death of this person that just died. So 2 may have no symptoms before rupture. 3, rupture leads to sudden hemorrhagic stroke. And 4, can cause sudden death. If no sudden death, very severe disability. So that's the end of the things that, there are so many things. As I said, many things, car accident, many things. Sometimes you hear people sleep in their sleep, they died off. It could have been one of these things. So there are many reasons why people just suddenly just die. I've talked about underlying condition that was not detected. And those underlying conditions, once they're detected, it's too late. Many people carry those. So the question will be, what is the solution, Dr. Susan? I'm sure this is why you stayed for this long. What's the solution? Well, the solution is simple. There are just 2 for the purpose of this lecture. I keep asking, please keep coming to the lecture, okay? Come, come every Wednesday. It's a short lecture, but I promise you, it will change your life. You can't be on this platform and your life will remain the same. You can't. Don't be lazy about it. Make it a mandatory part of your life, okay? So there are two things primarily. The first one is being proactive. My favorite book in the world is called The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And the first habit on that book is what? Be proactive. Okay. Now, how are you going to be proactive? Well, two ways. First is medical checkup. Somebody told me today, not yesterday, that every 1 month or so, she goes into the hospital and she does a checkup because typhoid could have already entered her body and she is asymptomatic. So automatically she goes to check, and because she checks to catch it before it catches her, she's hardly sick and ever enjoy. But if she did not do like that, by the time the thing will come, they usually come as if there's no tomorrow. So that being said, it was a bragging right in the past. And that bragging right was, oh, I don't go to hospitals. Oh, do you know that? Until the last time I was admitted that I came here, I've never taken any drug or tablets in my mouth. It's outdated. It's no longer happening. Preventive medical checkup is the new in, because we are not living in our era of our grandparents where coconut water was the wine. Now we drink real wine and champagne, okay, and bottled drinks. It's a different era. So please check your health. Two, as you're checking your health, don't stop at blood work. Minimum once or twice a year, based on your risk factor. Your doctor will tell you this. Do a scan. It could be abdominal pelvic scan. It could be abdominal pelvic MRI. They even have a breast scan where they can check your breast for lumps and everything. We have a client that they checked every single thing until she went to a very good physician, and the doctor said, have you ever scanned your brain? She's like, what? My problem is this side. What concerns my body with brain? And when they scanned a brain, something was wrong up there. So when was the last time you scanned your brain? I asked, when? Have you ever had a brain scan? No, nobody. So nobody's had a brain scan. And that's why some people are like, okay, once in 5 years, I will do a full body scan, head to toe, every 5 years, especially after the age of 35. Yeah. So that being said, I've said the bit I wanted to say. So the first one is being proactive with your medical checkups. Then I said it's two. The second one is what? Adopting lifestyle medicine and lifestyle modification. And the solution is what? Reowned. Reowned. R-E for re-owned. O-W-N, own, E-D. Reown, E-D. Reowned, okay? So if you live your life so that everything around you is medicine, you've taken enough medicine to be on lifelong medicine. So because you're already on medicine. So if you don't put this natural medicine, the other medicine will join you. So pick. Everybody must be on medicine. So your first medicine is rest as medicine. Do you think that even if your brain in the vessel in the brain wanted to burst, if you have adequate rest and your BP did not fluctuate and your blood did not do like this and you're inflamed, do you think that thing will burst? It cannot burst that fast. So rest as medicine. E, your energy as medicine. Listen to your energy. You wake up, you know what your body is telling you, but you don't listen. You move on. Yeah, when you now fall down, like maybe the stress of doing the party, making sure the wife had the best of party, there was an underlying condition. And then, oh, we have done the party, and then the body now caves in. That is a likely possibility. I can't just claim that that's the only possibility. So listen to your energy, your spiritual energy, your physical energy, all your energy. There's something called energy medicine. Oxygen as medicine. One of the things I read says that the oxygen will not be able to travel to the heart because of decreased blood. No oxygen, no life. That is oxygen. And I'm about to do a lecture on energy. So, announcement. For those of you, you're always running out of energy, maybe needing caffeinated drinks, needing all the bulls and the horses and all sorts of names just to keep going. This coming lecture that I'm about to do is for you. So that's why I say stay close, don't miss a lecture. Water as medicine. I want to say something about water. Oh, that reminds me. My friend is here. I love water, and you know it. I don't know if someone is excited. Okay, you know what? For your next wellness class, bring your water so we can do cheers. All right. Water is good. Water is life. In fact, a lot of people take a shower on the outside, but do you take a shower on the inside? I do. All right. And then just yesterday, I have a friend, and she's always on glutathione cream, this cream, that scrub, this and that. And she's having a lot of wrinkles faster. So the lady that was there is like, you see, there's only one thing I can tell you. Your own is that you're scrubbing your outside. Some people are scrubbing the inside, and that is why they are looking better. She's actually much, 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 much younger than me, but she's already developing wrinkles. So if you're that person that is more interested on the outside scrubbing, you need to start scrubbing the inside. And the best way, one of the best way to scrub the inside is via water as medicine. Okay? Besides, it stops sudden death. So you need to be drinking up. And nutrition as medicine. We said more raw food, more greens. See, God has already put all the medicine inside food that we're supposed to eat naturally. It's overcooking, processing, and not even. In fact, I'm sure if God were to be a human or someone you can talk to, he'd be like, I gave you this and you transform to this. Why must you die young? Because we keep carrying medicine and turning into poison. Some people even fry with olive oil. Olive oil, which is a pure disease-reducing drug. When taken raw, you fry it, it becomes a poison. So, anyway, that's it on nutrition, ED, exercise, movement. One of the things because I didn't want to overly elaborate, if you move, you will not have most of these conditions that I mentioned. And the last thing is D for detoxification. For me, detoxification starts with even fasting, like water fasting. You can do cucumber juice for 2 to 3 consecutive days, or even 24 hours. You can do food detox. You can do colonic hydrotherapy. You know what? I'm going to do another lecture on detox so that you know how important it is. Because, yes, any doctor will tell you that God has already put the detoxification system in your body, so you don't need to detox. That was true for our grandparents. But because of how much chemicals we put on our bodies every day, the soap and the lotion that you rub, the organs are overwhelmed, so they cannot detox again. So you need to add your own version of detox to help out your system if you must live long. So that concludes it. So in summary, Don't Sorry, I empathize with the family that just lost the husband and the man. But at the same time, I want everybody to actually be healthy earlier on, so that the rate at which, because stress, which I did not overly mention, accelerates all of those things that I mentioned. So stress accelerates them. Okay. So be healthier earlier on, be proactive, go and check your health. It's cheaper than a funeral, it's cheaper than admission, it's cheaper than surgery, it's cheaper than wheelchair, it's cheaper than lifelong medication. So do that for me, okay, and then practice your Reowned. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Wednesday. I'm so excited, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Same time, same platform. Once again, my name is Dr. Susanna Adams, and this is Wellness Wednesday by Dr. Physic. Thank you.